There is a rumor, and John Piamarimi, who used to write for the WWE, is texting my phone repeatedly right now, making sure I ask you this question. He's saying that the rumor was that you walked out on WWE one time because you were pushing CM Punk to win the WEC title. ECW title, I apologize. But Vince wanted to put it on Bobby Lashley. Is that true? Did you walk out over a creative dispute with Vince?
I don't know if walk out is the right term. This was back in 2006, and WWE had made... in 2005, WWE did ECW One Night Stand at the Hammerstein Ballroom. And we did a one-night reunion show, and it was just spectacular. So at the time, that was the moment where if you're going to create a new ECW, that was the moment. But WWE passed on that opportunity. As we started heading into 2006, the decision was made, let's do another show since the first one was so successful. So it was again at the Hammerstein Ballroom, and this time it was Rob Van Dam, who had won the Money in the Bank briefcase, cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase against John Cena, who was everything the ECW audience hated. So we had this parallel universe from the WWE universe of Rob Van Dam being this highly emotional favorite against John Cena, who was booed unmercifully by the ECW crowd. And right after that pay-per-view, the promotion itself, ECW, was brought back to life, but under the WWE umbrella. And the best equivalent I can give you to it is if you're going to promote it as ECW, it has to be ECW. It has to have a certain ECW feel to it. It has to be authentic, or the audience is not going to accept it.
They'll see right through it, yep.
It'd be the equivalent of a music producer today saying, hey, we got the Beatles. It's the Beatles. But you know, John's not alive anymore, so we replace him with Miley Cyrus. And George is not alive anymore, so we're going to bring in Justin Bieber. Because, hey, who's bringing in Justin Bieber? And
sure.
Instead of Paul and Ringo, well, we're going to have an African-American and we're going to have an Asian to create diversity.
Have to.
We want the Beatles to be more global. Can't just be four guys from Liverpool. We want them to be more global. So we have Miley and Justin, and we have an African-American and an Asian to appeal to everybody. We have a female in the group now. We cover all demographics. Yeah, but it's not the Beatles. It's not the Beatles. Don't call them the Beatles.
For sure.
Call them the supergroup, but don't call them the Beatles. So WWE was calling it ECW, and it was anything but ECW. And the audience hated it. And as the audience kept firing back against this presentation to us, I had a scenario. We were walking into the Elimination Chamber, and I had a scenario, once again, understanding the influence of mixed martial arts. I wanted Punk to choke out the Big Show, who was the champion, in the first 5 minutes of the Elimination Chamber. So then you would have the scenario of, a new champion will be crowned in this match. Now, the two scenarios that I had were either Punk makes it to the last elimination, and Bobby Lashley turns heel on Punk, and you have Punk chase Lashley to WrestleMania, or Punk wins it. I also had even a third suggestion, that Lashley eliminates Punk with controversy, and Rob Van Dam wins it. Where Lashley would do a German suplex on Punk, and they both have their shoulders down. Lashley would lift his shoulder up at the last second, but Van Dam hits a top rope splash. So as Lashley pins Punk, Van Dam pins Lashley. But the big push that I had was for Punk to be crowned the champion, and now we would have a unique personality who was not WWE branded that was going to be the face of the promotion. And Vince rejected it. And by this time, Vince and I were so at each other's throats that it was really my cue to leave. I was burned out. I needed to go away. I had lost my love and my passion for what we were doing. I kept seeing the rise of mixed martial arts as far more exciting. I was launching my agency in New York City, and I just had lost my passion for it. So Vince and I ended up butting heads to such a degree that it was obvious that this town ain't big enough for the two of us. And since he's the majority stake shareholder and the chairman of the board, if one of these guys is going to leave town, my suggestion to you would be that guy's going to beat me.
It's not going to be Vince. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Good math on your part.
He wasn't going to go home and say, here are the keys, you run it, bro.
Yeah, here's the jet. Enjoy, Paul.
Right. It just wasn't going to happen. And it took 5.5 years for us to end up even wanting to work together again. And that's where we are today. We've come to where we are now, and I think, I've known Vince in many ways since I was 14 years old. So it's been a long road with the two of us. And there was a lot of personal baggage at the time. And, the 5.5 years away was a really great gift for me